What is up, guys? We got Ed and Troy. Let's go.
Hey! New time.
Indeed, new time. All right. So today we're going to be talking about one of the cool things that I've basically been discovering with these directories. All right. And one of these things, like I've been trying to pick what platform I should build basically this directory on. Like I've been looking at WordPress. I've been looking at like, I even considered Aspire Builder, right? Like, which is my own platform, right? I've considered Go High Level. However, I've even looked at some independent like plugins to build a directory, like independent like Word, like white label software. However, I'm continuously finding that like they just don't meet the need that I need. Like, here's what one of these books that I've been reading, it's called Everything is a Software, right? And I think we talked about it a little while ago, like what kind of company is Amazon, right? And a lot of people think Amazon is like an e-commerce company, but the reality is Amazon is actually a software company, right? They have a phenomenal software that's able to take, if I want to be an Amazon seller, one of my products, I could ship it to their store or their warehouse, and they'll take their software, will handle it, it'll get an order and it will ship it to their customer. Like overnight delivery. Like it's absolutely phenomenal. Well, that's a software that handles it start to finish. So when I'm building this directory, how am I going to do it? Right? We want to use this directory as a lead magnet for our agency. And how do I build it? Well, one of the things that I've been looking at is how do I get traffic to the site, right? Well, one of the things that I need to make sure is that the software can get ranked on Google. Okay, so here's what I discovered in this last few days with one of the software builders that I use. It's called Bubble. All right, and if we're going to talk about systematic SEO, all right, which is like, it's crazy it is, right? Think about Google. If you Google like a company's name, you're going to see that there's like how many searches are on a month, right? So here's what's really cool, right? I'll share my screen. If I just type in my AI team, that's myaiateam.com. All right, so I'll just type in, let's say Chat GPT. Okay, and if I just type this in, well, you could see that this is searched absolutely a massive amount of times, right? 277,000 times, right? Well, brands, companies are highly searched a lot, right? So let's just say you are a real estate agent, right? So I could say Las Vegas real estate agent, right? Real estate agent, right? Well, you see how I'm searching Las Vegas real estate agent. Well, that's a systematic SEO. So this is only going to pull back Las Vegas realtors. Well, if I was to create a directory, I would almost want it to be like Las Vegas real estate agents, Summerlin real estate agents, all of the cities in Nevada real estate agents. Does that make sense? Like you would almost, those are the keywords that you're ranking for. Okay, so with me, here's what's really interesting. The other day I typed in my AI team text to code. And here's what's really, really something that I didn't know, but I discovered inside Bubble. Okay, so if you guys look, this is really obvious. myAIteam.com is up here, right? And it's myAIteam.com. And then one of my pages is called text to code, right? I actually, if I go to myAIteam.com, right, we're just going to kind of reverse engineer this. If I go to myAIteam.com and I go to products and I go to text to code, this is the page that is ranking on Google. Okay, this is this page right here. This was coded by AI. Okay, this whole little page for us. Well, now here's what's really interesting. That's not the interesting part. If I click on this and I scroll down a little bit further, if you see at number six, there's something called CodeScribe AI. But then it says app.myaiteam.com/snippet/codescribe.ai. Well, if you guys didn't know, this site right here is actually this. This is inside the software. So this is the software widget page that I coded. So here's what's interesting is what this means. If we go inside Bubble, here's what's happening. Inside Bubble, inside of our data, there's actually a checkbox that says show these pages. You see how it's a snippet and then it's the code scribe? Well, if I go into my code and I go into settings, and then we go into SEO and meta tags. Okay, check this out. SEO and meta tags. Well, guess what? There's a thing in here. You see this snippet? This snippet was clicked. I actually didn't want it clicked. I don't want all of my software pages like this showing on Google. I didn't want this ranked, but it is ranking. And if you guys don't know what this is ranking, if I go into here, if I go into data and I go into snippet, let me show you guys what is ranking. App data. This is what's ranking. Description, page SEO, and page name. It's actual spreadsheet data that's ranking on the internet, not just a website. Yes, it is just a website for the normal people, but understand the way I built that website is in my database. So this page on my website right here, this page right here that's ranking on Google is a data line in Bubble. So when we start scraping websites and we add, think about this. Right now I'm building a directory for doctors. Well, now check out this, right? This is just me like testing. But if you look at my up here, okay, this is what we're focusing on, okay, right here. If I click this, watch what happens. This might be a little hard to see, but it shows up here, it says practitioners, and then it says Dr. Jeff. All right. So here's what that's going to do. Well, if I type in Dr. Jeff, this is just Berger. I don't know who that guy is, but if I type that in, look what happens. Dr. Jeff Berger gets searched 70 times a month. However, if you don't think that's a lot, that's perfectly fine. However, if you look, anyone that's directly ranking using that exact keywords is going to rank on the number one. Well, guess what? That's how I'm setting up my software. You see how I just set it up? Look, practitioners. So now it's going to show the practitioners, just like real estate agents or just like home repair or just like water cleanup. You'd have your main keyword right here. And then the very next thing is we have our main search word. So now we're going to get found for Dr. Jeff Berger. Okay. Like this is the process that we're essentially, it's funny. If I click this, the reason I even know about this, you see how it says Jeff Berger obituary right here? One of my buddies is doing this exact thing, but with obituaries. That's it. That's his whole business. He has a news site and they have a whole bunch of obituaries, and that's all they do. They scrape news, they scrape websites for the obituary, and then they repost the blog with he has a little Canva thing that makes a beautiful image that respects them, whether it's boy or girl, and then posts it and gives like a respect with them, and posts it as an obituary. It's actually a little cool service. Well, that they also own funeral homes in that city. And so that's their little, like they post this comes in a lead magnet and people come to they now know about their funeral home. So this is the same thing is I'm not going off for obituaries because I don't have funeral homes and I don't have something like that. I have active things. I have doctors that I'm going after. That's my client. That's my customer that I'm focusing on. So if I'm going after those, well, think about this. I scraped an entire 2,238 leads that all have first name, last name, everything about their business. And now I'm building a site that I'm going to be able to upload that entire thing as data. And now all of a sudden, instead of me having to write all of those blogs, I'm now using my database to rank on Google. Okay. This is where I feel like is different because here, what can we do? We can now scrape massive data and we can fill up our database. We can rank for hundreds of thousands of words with a CSV upload. This is where I see this is completely different. Okay. So for me, I see this gives us an opportunity to, one, get found by these, by how is our directory going to get found on the internet? Well, guess what? All we have to do is check this one little box, right? If I go into settings right here, plugin or settings, SEO meta tag, this one where it says page to add to sitemap right here, okay? The sitemap means Google's going to find this, and it's going to basically say, like, what pages do you want me to rank? And it's literally the way Bubble is set up. This is what I've been looking for. The way Bubble is set up, every line in the database, if you click this and then you click practitioners, you see how I have practitioners clicked right here? If I click it and I check that, that means my practitioner database is now going to be exposed to Google. So now when Google crawls my website, they're going to see all the practitioners listed. But it's really, they're referencing my database, which is incredibly powerful for us as a marketer, because remember, we're building software. The fact that we could rank software on Google is the powerful point that I'm trying to talk about here, okay? We could rank software here. Like, for me, that is, I feel like that is the biggest part, because now we could fully customize the journey of our customers. We could completely build out what the software is going to look like. We could have it look like our ZocDoc that we checked out the other day, right? Ed's phone died. Love you, Ed. Bye. Yeah, so we could completely have it look like that. Okay, so for me, this is what I've been doing, is I've been building this process to make it where if I put in data, I don't necessarily care about the functionality of the software fully yet. I don't care about how it looks. I just want my SEO to be fully correct. Do you see that? That's really all I'm caring about, is my practitioners / doctors are showing. If I could have my practitioners / doctors showing, or whatever it is, if you're using a name directory is fine. One of the things that I'm going to do, you see how it says Las Vegas? Well, after a while, I'm going to have Las Vegas functional medicine. Well, if you search that, that's 500. This gets searched 590 times a month. Well, if I'm at the top one for Las Vegas functional medicine doctor, right? Well, over time, look at this, like this gets a little lower, right? So functional medicine. Essentially, we become the one that ranks on this. We could have all these businesses on our directory. So now here's the reason. Why would they want to be on our directory? What's the point of all of this? Well, let's just say, if you see how I just searched this and I just found, like right now, I could just by me searching, this person's website's called Functional Medicine of Las Vegas. How awesome, right? That's pure keyword stuff, right? So if we go to this person's website, and this is a perfect person to be on my directory, absolutely perfect person, right? Well, I could see that, you see how it says Dr. Carol Amy Shane? Look at this, is her name. So I could search this. Thank you for being a great example for us, doctor. If you're ever here in our classes, let me know. All right. So look at this. If I search her name, you can see it's not much, but there's 10 people a month searching up her name directly. Just 10. But here's the cool thing. There's only 493,000 pages on Google that are ranking for that keyword. But what's amazing about that, anything under 2 million, you have a brand new site could rank for, no problem. Anything under 2 million, if you see right here where it says 2 million, the search results, and it returns less than 2 million, you know that you could rank for a word like that. So here's the thing is, I have this Dr. Carol Ann Chaney. Well, if I have her on my directory, I'm probably going to be the first one to rank because not many people are using that keyword. Or I'm going to be at least on the first page, but do that times 2,000. That's the cool thing, right? If you have a name directory, or if you have a business directory, do that times 2,000 or 10,000, right? Yelp keeps popping up as number one on some of these because Yelp does this, right? They're a multi-billion-dollar company with this. So using names are a fantastic way. And it's data that we could scrape, right? So we could scrape this data. So here's the cool thing. Now I could take this lady and she's probably on social media, right? So she has a little contact us. She has a phone number. She has an email. I could message her and ask her if she wants to be on my directory. Once she gets on my directory, here's the thing, right? My wife and I, we sell websites, logo and branding to health coaches and private practices. So this client, potentially, as soon as she gets listed on our directory, right, our process of the directory, we're going to build it where it's a full onboarding process where it's saying, hey, now that you got on the directory, tell us how else we can help you. And then it's going to be like, are you wanting more clients? Are you wanting a better brand? Are you wanting, are you wanting more social media following? Like, what are you wanting? And we're asking them those questions. We give them something free, right? We're giving them a lead magnet, basically like them getting found on Google and them getting like their names up here and them getting found and getting searched. And like our directory is eventually going to bring them traffic and customers. So they want to be on our directory. So as soon as if one is we could use scraping to fill up our directory to start, that's going to help us get that initial like proof, social proof of our directory. And then also the initial like search traffic. As crazy it is. That's kind of what we're going after is the search traffic here. The next part is we could start reaching out to people and we can confirm that all their information is correct. Hey, is this your address? Is this your phone number? Is this your email? Are you still at this? And is this what you still serve? Is this what you still offer? If you want, you can confirm your directory listing here. It's free, 100% free. And as they confirm it and as they claim it and as they fill it out, we're going to have a survey that brings them into this higher other products. It's our other products that we're still bringing in. So this directory that we're going to be building is 1,000% a lead magnet. 1,000%.
Yeah. Does she have to approve to be on it? Can't you just put her on it and still use it as a lead magnet? Just put her on there, and then it's actually helping her, at least the name, and then you ask for all the extras.
1,000%. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is I want to have like basically like 3 different levels, or maybe 2 different levels, like 3 different levels. I want essentially like one that I put it on, where it's just my scraping. Then 2 is the ones that they claim. So the claimed ones are going to have a blue check mark. Now they're verified. Like those people are verified on our directory, like boom, like they're verified on there. Then the next part is going to be a featured one. And so, hey, if you want to be featured, it's X amount of dollars a month. Every single time anytime somebody falls on this, you're going to be on the search. And then, because here's the thing is a lot of my clients, they don't need, let's just say somebody's searching for this would be something that one of my clients or customers would be searching for, anxiety doctor, right? Anxiety doctors near me. This would be a very common thing, right? Or doctor online, something along these lines. But just say anxiety doctor online or near me. Well, this is something that a lot of my clients can help. So think about this is sometimes they'll want a local doctor, and that's awesome. But the second part is they want somebody that literally this one right here, it says the doctors I work with are open and willing to listen. A lot of times in something like this, they just want someone to talk to. Well, that could be done by telemedicine online fully. Well, so my clients, wouldn't they want to be at the top? You know what I mean? Like, hey, wouldn't you want to be like featured in some of these areas? And so I offer them a featured at X amount of dollars. Super simple, cancel anytime. If you want promoted, here you go. And then I can have all the featured ones at the top. And then it goes into the normal search directory. And so that's it. Everything else is going to be free. Now, here's what's cool. Because I'm building this on a software, I'm going to make this thing the best freaking medical directory there is, like out there. I want to make it where it's super beautiful and super easy to get found and super easy to get added and super easy to like add your stuff. But I also want it where there's like a little bonus section that has like, so Troy, we were just kind of talking about RSS feeds, right? Well, one of the things that I'm going to do is one of the data types is going to be called blog. And inside that blog is going to be like blog title, right? And so I want to make this a blog title. I want to have like a blog description. And here's the thing is I want the doctors themselves to submit these. So now it's not just a directory. It's a directory, but they're able right from their dashboard inside their little area, they're able to publish their blogs. And I think the RSS feed would be awesome. Just connect an RSS feed. And then literally all of your blogs can be right under your profile, right inside our system. Because here's the thing is those blogs are going to help me get ranked. Well, if I make it where they could write a blog and that blog generates traffic for them, well, boom. That could totally help. And look, I could even track traffic, right? So I could say visits. And then this could be a number. And now I just added analytics into my website. Okay, so this is making it where it's extremely valuable for our customer. I wonder what else we need up in a blog writer. So this is the directory that I'm building. I definitely want it where I have a directory that like I said, it's a lead magnet for us to offer into our clients, but we ultimately want to get our clients more clients, right? We want to get somebody that has anxiety. We want to get them connected. That's somebody that's going to offer them functional medicine or natural methods of healing that way. All right. So we want to get them connected. Well, how else can we do this, right? This is my wife, like offering her products, offering her services, but I can offer things on the inside, like blog writers, blog generators, things that can connect to her templates to sell her templates. This is essentially my area that I can attract clients to her business. I am going to be the lead generation on this part on this, but it's under a whole different brand. So it's not going to be like, it's not like, it's just saying in the behind the scenes, hey, here's what we can offer. If you want these services, here's the best places that we could get it. Here's some templates for you. Here's one built just for functional medicine doctors, like just for you guys. And so I have other products that I plan to sell outside of this software.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I'm thinking about a lot of people, most people don't want a blog. And if you had a GPT that was created based on certain questions that they would answer, and then you could use AI to generate these blogs more specific to them and their practice, and that's something that could be offered through the LC design. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Troy, that would be amazing. Imagine if they fill out a really nice survey. Like a beautiful, like what they have to offer, what they have, everything like that. And then literally as they go, maybe I even give them like hey, sign up for free if you want the promoted, which includes these things.
Yeah, I mean, getting really into it, I mean, so you put them on there. What I'm thinking, you put them on there, and then they need to verify it. So you're able to reach out to them. Maybe their info isn't showing because you really want them to verify and take, get a response. So maybe it's their name, their city, phone number and email, but it's not all showing, so that they can't just not verify and still potentially get business. They actually have to acknowledge that they want to verify because you already did the hard work for them. And then if you could use AI somehow to scrape their website and potentially get the personality for their blog for them already. As my buddy's agency, it's kind of like a snapshot, and it would say, rather than a questionnaire where they have to take more steps, it just goes, hey, it seems as though this is who you are and who you're going for. Would you like a blog created for this through AI that would help you rank and do an RSS feed through that would go into the directory as well as on their website. Maybe they already have one, but that's kind of how I'm thinking about some automation and some AI to help just kind of do some of the work for them that they wouldn't want to do themselves.
That would be phenomenal. Could you imagine being able to tell a doctor or somebody like, hey, go check this out. It's a free directory. But also, if you ever want to write content, literally as you set up your profile, like check out the content area and then boom, you know what I mean? Like they're
it could be through LC Design that you can do it just for their website, right? So the blog, and of course, anything with AI like that, you would want it to generate and have to be confirmed before, that you'd want them to take the responsibility that, okay, we acknowledge that this was AI and we're willing to put this out with our name on it, So you wouldn't want to get in trouble for AI generating something in as them and just having it too automated. You want a stopgap there, so to speak.
Yeah, essentially like almost like an editor that they can edit right in it. And then it makes it where they can edit, but also like if they were to publish, they have to like verify with their name or something, accept that, hey, like this is you as the doctor accepting that this is you.
Yeah, they have to hit a publish button. Like
totally.
It's not going to go out until they do something.
100%. Yeah. I think
that could just be on their website, and then the RSS feed could potentially go to your directory as well, but there's definitely ideas there to get them going.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. And they could use it. Maybe I just make it a little download button that downloads the doc, but they also could publish, you know what I mean? Like that's the cool thing about building it into a software. We could do all of these things.
Right. I mean, I was just in my other group, they're focusing a lot on newsletter, and he was just showing how to do a newsletter. I mean, that RSS feed could be generate for a blog and for a newsletter.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yes. Newsletter. I find this is going to be cool. This is going to be a phenomenal directory. Like I'm excited just for the free things that I'm going to give away on there. Like to help them inside there. Like,
yeah. Well, look at Facebook, look at a lot of things. It's like you give things away for free, and then you have these, I'm trying to think of the word. I don't want to say it. These extraneous sort of tools or items that you're able to provide at cost, or for a price on top of it. But otherwise, it's all for free, and it benefits everybody, and you're getting data and sales from it.
Yeah, this is going to be a really cool process. So, yeah, I definitely see it where they're going to have their own little So essentially, what I would want is like their own dashboard, right? So dashboard, like once they get inside, like if we're in here, I use what's called Basis or whatever. But they have full app shells that we can build. So essentially, I mean, like,
and I'm a big fan of referrals, affiliate type of things too. So you can make it where they benefit from sharing with other doctors, right? If you get somebody to sign up, then you get these points, or you get a free month, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very interesting. I'm really excited to see how this turns out, because this is going to be like some bonus areas, you know what I mean, for them on the inside. Like, yeah. And they're going to have all their listings right here, different locations. Like, this is going to be cool.
Yeah, and like you discovered in the last call, right? Wasn't it the video streaming through AppSumo, I think it was?
Yeah, and that could be something I add in here too, I mean, like where they just have that, and now they could set up meeting rooms or everything right in here. So I'll probably have it where this is like their onboarding, or like something in here. This is really cool, because I want it to be basically where this is like, this could write their AI copy, AI blogs, all of that stuff. So
yeah, I think that's cool, and yeah, you want to take it one thing at a time. I keep going back to kind of how I told you last week, I think the whole Craigslist thing, just you can do real well and provide a lot of value by keeping things simple. So you also don't want to complicate this too much. Let's just stick to what the real pain points are and needs are, provide for that, and then live a long, happy life with everybody winning.
Yeah, ultimately, I imagine. Let's see what I imagine. Ultimately, I imagine, like, because you're right, I don't want to get distracted. But I also been thinking, like, how am I going to keep somebody on this directory? You know what I mean? Well, I think, the fact that we're gathering so much data about their business, like, as an AI person, I just think that we could do so much with that copy. It writes it all for them, like.
Right. Well, here's the thing, the simplicity, and you want to keep providing value, all these things. This is something I remember years and years ago. A girl and I were talking, and she was talking about guys, and she's like, you got to keep them wanting more. And the same thing. So, and this could be the same thing. You think with legal, that goes on, but and then one of my frustrations often with could be tech creators or artists, or just, I think maybe it's just because so much data, the world we live in and how fast things move, is there's not clear stages or finish lines. So what I would urge you to do is, yes, you can think big, but you need to take it in stages and steps. Keep them wanting more. Have these release dates, so to speak. You can even build up the enthusiasm, like Russell Brunson would say, coming up to a release date. So that's how you keep this energy constant and flowing and growing and moving forward. Because otherwise, if you drop too much on them, it can be overwhelming. It can be frustrating because you're trying to fix things that are at level 5 when you haven't gotten everything straight on level 2. So you that's yeah. I'm thinking of one friend in particular, not you, that would do that. I was working with him. I'm like, hey, come on, let's just and if you remember, I still have it somewhere. Remember, I said that get the baby to church thing. As I for some random, it was a term that I used, and it's like, let's just get to here and then worry about getting to here, because otherwise it's just a nonstop. It's like the artist trap, I guess you could call it. I know plenty of musicians, and it's never good enough because you're always where you want to go next, but nobody else is there in the head. And so it's important to do it in stages, do it here. It creates opportunity, it creates stability, it creates you're able to really constantly build excitement and keep people engaged and happy with the products you're putting out, rather than just a nonstop experiment. That's what I feel like so often now. If you remember, a lot of software companies do this now. I guess Elon Musk would be kind of key at this sort of stuff. Is just it's like we're just nonstop being beta testers of everything now. Like there's nothing's ever completely finished because we're working on something else, and you're the one who we expect to, gripe or complain or let us know what's wrong. So it's like this constant. You get where I'm going with this? Whereas it used to be Microsoft, if you remember, would have release dates on certain things. Okay, we're going to do this and this and then this, and now it's just a nonstop, ever-changing thing, which provides constant frustration, and you never feel like you're ever anywhere for long that's stable. So I'm babbling, but I think you follow. Do it in stages. Keep them wanting more, and don't reveal all your magic before you get there. That's how you keep that excitement going.
That's really good. So like finish out just the basic directory, make it where it could just generate one lead and they could get listed and it looks good.
Yeah.
And then sure, we could do a lot of cool stuff with the data later. Like,
Yeah. Well, think of it
good work.
again. Craigslist is about as black and white as it gets. So let's use that. Just get your Craigslist out. Then you could get your MySpace out. Then you could get your Facebook out. Then you could get your Amazon out. You know this. Then you can get your Google out. Then you can get your SpaceX out.
That makes a lot of sense. Because right now we don't even have the homepage done.
Yeah, because and and a lot of times if people know something else is coming, they're going to be like, well, why am I going to jump in now when this is when they're still working out the kinks and they're doing this when I'm not, especially when a lot of times it might be, well, it's not necessarily here initially in the subscription model, but I'll even think that, right? Okay, well, why am I going to even take a 30-day trial? I know they're going to have my credit card or a 2-week trial, and then they're still working out some kinks. And then I'm going to have to remember to cancel. And then if I know that they're still working out kinks, why don't I just hold off and wait until, if the word gets out and they're still big and they're still good, then I'm going to hear about it. So unless you're just really, yes, and that's not the way either of us work in terms of doing a hard sell, twisting somebody's arm to get them to pay now so that we can take advantage of the recurring monthlies. That's just not cool, and that's not the way we work. So it's just stages. Work in stages, offer them the basics, do more work as necessary, and you're able to, just like the Dan Henry book, you're able to adapt. You're able to adapt as things progress by keeping them involved in the journey, right? You might have to adjust. You just build this directory, and next thing you know, people are constantly requesting this. You're like, oh, why do I want to do a blog when I could do this? So you could end up working too much on something that isn't your most important thing to the user.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, I agree. Well, yeah, thanks, man. That's helpful. Well, then I'm just gonna primary focus on just getting this directory to look nice and getting it up where it just does its one thing.
Yeah, get your scrape, get your database, get the people up there, get their basic info, start reaching out to them, seeing how that works, what they're saying, what they like. You're going to get people that love it, right? So and much like me, because they love you, or oftentimes when I get engaged with people that I know are hustlers, forward thinking, creating new, listening to their customers, I build relationships, and often just a monthly call with all of those people that we work with. And still to this day, for years, I've built friendships like that. But you're going to get those people, those doctors that are excited. They love you. They're like, oh, this is great. Let's talk more. I got somebody I could suggest for you. Maybe they have a child that would want to work with you. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty awesome to think. Yeah, because I have all these contacts. So I definitely want to have something. You're right. I probably shouldn't jump to stage 30 or something.
Yeah. Well, and that's what happens, I think, with, say, developers, artists, musicians that working at home on music all the time by themselves, coders, they're, the developers, they're in there all by themselves. So you're in your own world here, and you're always thinking here, you're always thinking further down the road. And so you're never happy with where you're at, because you're already seeing where you can go next. And that's what frustrates with many of my friends, developers or musicians, is they just go, dude, you're awesome. You don't realize it, just like Russell Brunson would say, right? There's all these people that don't know jack from what you know here, but you think you don't know enough because you're ahead of yourself. And so just provide what you have, available, or what you know right now for these people, and they're going to be stoked. And then once you kind of build that fan base, all those people, and you start to really self-realize, because otherwise, what I see with you right now is, yeah, you're just going down this road, you're thinking of all these things, it's big, and you people just want that basic, and they're going to be really happy with it. And then you could go, yeah, just I think this is great. I feel like you're hearing me, and yeah, just keep it simple and and I always say it, just involve these people in your journey, and that's what's really going to build the relationship, and that's really what's going to help foster growth, I think.
I agree. Yeah. So maybe I reach out to a couple and ask them directly, like what they want in this, and if they'd be interested,
Well, I think you scrape, you build the database, and then you reach out, and you probably do kind of you got to be safe with all the way emails are kind of guarded now. You don't want to have bad mojo with your email, right, getting blocked or anything, because you're just spamming people. So be selective in how often or how many emails you send and how you reach out. Maybe it's personal phone call. I mean, people just,
yeah,
but it's easy to get ahead of yourself and ahead of everybody else. And just do it in stages.
I think
it's like a first date and you're already on honeymoon.
Yeah, let's get married and have kids. They're like,
yeah, dude, what's your name, by the way? You already got my future planned out, and I don't even know what your URL is.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, that's so good. Here's what I've also think is if I just build this out really well and I do what you just said, like just a directory, nothing else, just a directory. Well, essentially, I know I'm going to need this in the future with other businesses, so I should probably build it to where it's like a baseline and hey, this is a really good template that we use, to start with, you know what I mean? And
yeah, I know what you mean. And see, I remember a long time ago when I have computer classes, but also I think what I remember learning most back then and what I'm thinking about right now is you still want to think big, like this stuff that we're talking about, because what I remember is a lot of times what you don't want to happen is to build something simplistic and then you get further down the road and then you're like, oh shit, I can't easily add what I know I wanted to add here because I built the framework or the foundation incorrectly to be able to branch out in these ways. So I think that big picture you need to know, but only to make sure you don't miss some basic roots or some basic steps in the beginning that are going to be necessary once you get here, right? Because otherwise I think it's almost like I think ClickFunnels had to do that as well, right? They go to 2.0 and there's certain things I'm guessing that they hadn't fully thought through, and they're like, we can't just go back and tweak one. We need to start all over with a 2.0 from the ground up. And you want to try to avoid that. Of course, things change so fast with AI, whatever it might be, that you can't completely avoid it. And that's not a bad thing. Hopefully you can grow past your imagination and have to completely rebuild from the ground up again in a 2.0. That's a good problem to have if you've thought it through. But here initially, so you start with those nuts and bolts, that ABCs of stuff.
Yeah.
But not forget about the full alphabet, because so maybe it's almost like having a 1, 3, and 5 year plan for goals type of thing. So you would want to just have, okay, this is where I'm going to start, but then this is where I'm going to go, and then this is where I'm going to go. Will I have the framework all available and prepared in the first year so that I can reach this goal in the 5th year?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I would think that big, is just to make sure you have the right things in place at the ground level to not go, oops, I forgot to do this once you get to level 3.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think I might use this, just like we were talking last time, ZocDoc as a template. I feel like they've done such a great job.
Yeah, it seems like it for sure.
Yeah.
Start with something super simple and adaptable, and can kind of adjust with the client's demands.
Totally. So if you look at up here, you see how it says ZocDoc Primary Care Doctor Atlanta? Like, they're literally doing exactly what I was thinking, And here's what's cool is this, now it has primary care doctors, but another part in their database is Atlanta. And then this page shows up as Atlanta, and then it has all these. So I'm probably going to like recreate a lot of these pages inside of our own template. So we have something just like this. Yeah,
absolutely. I guess what I thought of the other day when we found this. Yeah, this is great. And I just think if somebody's already doing it, you want to make sure are you not jumping into, what do they say, like the blue ocean strategy versus the red ocean. You don't want to jump in where there's already this competition or somebody's dominant, unless you're planning to do it maybe in a slightly simpler way. So that's the only thing I think is, if they're this huge, then you're creating a database that's already exists.
yeah.
And are you ready to do that, or how are you going to differentiate yourself when you do that?
The main thing is, you see how these ones are fine in-network doctors using insurance plans?
Mm-hmm.
We're finding the doctors that don't accept insurance. And then, so that's going to be more of these guys. So like, it's more functional or natural medicine, like different things like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
My buddy's, he sent the social media agency. He ended up, he remains adaptable. I think he's huge in the veterinary space.
Nice.
So he's able to help a lot of veterinaries. So, that's how you could remain adaptable. Your database, it's not so much about a doctor database, it's about the structure of your database that remains, adjustable, for veterinary, for whatever it might be. But also they're doing leads, whereas you're doing more of a branding presence.
Yeah, purely just branding presence, and they're doing leads.
Yeah. So that would be a differentiator, and you just might, but really it just starts with the basics. Let's get that stage 1. Get that baby learning to walk.
Yeah, I think stage 1 would be these 3 pages. Okay. Well, actually, really, it's only 2 pages right now. But essentially, it's the main page, this, and then the next page is like essentially this, like the actual profile.
Yeah.
So basically, like the doctor main page, then the profile, and then the sign up process.
You know what I just thought that's good as well. Think about this, because as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this is, people with companies often want to either blow up and go public, or they want to get acquired, right? So look at these ZocDoc, just for now, as you wanting to get acquired by them. So what could you do? Learn from them, but what could you do differently that would make them want you? And then your goal is simply just to sell to them one day. And they go, oh my gosh, well, you know what, we do this, but he does this. And if we could merge those together, we would be even better. Yeah. Or maybe you grow to a point where you acquire them, right? Because you're slightly different, and your focus is simpler, and maybe and more in the branding, where they're more in the lead gen.
Yeah.
Look, Ed's back.
What up, Ed?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, just solving the world's problems, I guess. No. What were we doing? Yeah, we're talking about the stages of building this directory. How to differentiate and
SEO in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and yeah, just we were going down some rabbit holes.
I'll definitely be rewatching.
Nice.
Are you all caught up on putting all the lessons up yet?
I am not, but I will today. Yeah.
Famous last words.
Yeah, there you go. Famous last words. Well, we ironically we were just kind of talking about not getting too far ahead of ourselves and just starting with the ground floor and remaining adaptable. So maybe that applies here with Jeff.
Yes, it does. Yeah, essentially we were talking about all the cool things that we could do, and Troy's like, dude, just start with step one, man. Rebuild this page, and rebuild it where you could sign up, and that's it.
Yeah, it basically was like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. It reminds me of a girl that I talked to randomly years ago, and she said, just always keep guys wanting more. And I said, you need to build this in stages and just keep people wanting more. They can get frustrated. I said, what else did I say? I said, oh, you kind of like, we haven't even had a first date and you're already on the honeymoon. Just keep it simple. I don't even know your URL yet.
Well, I mean, Russell Brunson used to say that, like too many people get overwhelmed because they're trying to sell the whole staircase when really all you have to sell is the next step.
That's exactly it. Yep. And we brought up Russell a couple times.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's cool that you mentioned Russell too.
Yeah. And I just say that I think it's something I see a lot with artists and creatives is they often are in their own space and they know they can already see what they can do next or want to do next, while everybody else is kind of in a cloud of dust and confused behind them. And it's good to make sure you kind of the people you're trying to guide, their feet are firmly planted and you're holding their hand when you need to.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, basically, I mean,
wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm going to build this page, and that's what I'm going to be doing this next few days. And then my goal is to build this out into a template so we could use it for multiple different niches in the future if we ever wanted to. So,
yeah.
I mean, I have a domain name that's like, exact match domain name for keywords for I own freemoldremovalestimate.com. It might need a directory on it.
That's really cool. That'd be a cool one. Yeah, essentially everyone on this browser, like whenever they go to like click this, it would say free estimate right here. Book your free estimate.
So
yeah, see, I think I've wanted this kind of, this all melds together, but I mean, it was a while back when I brought up the list and then you were talking about a list, and I really do think, there's plenty of newsletters that go out our list. So if we could think of a really, really a list structure, and this is where it comes to what I was saying, Jeff, about the base being so important, and this is where it could get kind of confusing, but you have to act is a list framework that could apply to ed, that it could apply to realtors, veterinarians, to doctors, to whatever, to AI, to coaches, to whichever, but just to have a list, lead gen, branding, SEO type of thing that could apply to everybody. But it really just starts with you doing the nuts and bolts bare minimum for what you want to build. And then I think all of us together with just putting our heads together, we'll be able to go, well, we would need this in real estate. We would need this in, the water remediation and stuff.
Okay. I think this is amazing. Directories as lead magnets for all of our businesses. Like, just get it simple where it works the right way first. Like, that's it. Don't get fancy. Just to where they could do all of this. Because this is like this amount where they could edit about insurance's location, reviews, frequently asked questions, that's any business. This is any business, whatever. This is just the what they decided to add into this thing, you know. And so
it all starts with the basics. You need to get people in the front door first. That's why I keep going back to this Craigslist thing. Just get people in the front door. They're there. They got an account. They got their name, email, and phone number, and business name, and maybe a URL. But they're gonna have to pay for that, whatever. And just start with that.
Just that.
Old school.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna build this. This sounds awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Cool. Well, I'll share updates as I go, I guess, you know, and so, yeah. So
next class, 10 o'clock Tuesday.
Next class, 10 o'clock Tuesday. So, yeah.
Right. But yeah, definitely share, get those recordings up.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about, you know, the white label GHL and that other group I'm in. And, you know, so yeah, let's make shit happen.
Yeah, indeed. Thanks for the coaching class today, Troy.
It's always great. We're a team. It's all good. Sorry your phone went out, Ed. How was lunch?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Love you guys. Talk soon.
See you.